Hey guys, my name is Logan from Extreme Vehicle Productions, and today we are going to be today we're going to be doing the install on these guys here on yours truly, your Chevy Trail Boss. The cool thing with these is, like I said in the last video, is they're going to replace these housings here, and what these housings are meant to cover are where your factory fog light would go for your ZR1 trim Colorado. What we created, to summarize it, is a bracket that will accept Baja Design Squadron Pros, Squadron SAEs, Sports. Any of the Squadron series will work with this housing. So today I'm going to end up showing you guys from start to finish how to install these, and I will get into even how to install the electrical. I just went through a little bit of a hassle doing this, but hopefully I took out all of the bloody knuckles and cuss words that you guys might have to go through in the process. So hopefully it'll make it a little easier on you guys, and we're gonna go ahead and just jump right on into this right now. All right, so obviously if you guys are here right now, the instructions weren't as clear as you were hoping. Hopefully in this video we will be able to clear that up. Jumping right into this, we can do this one of two ways, which those of you who read the instructions will know. We could do it with the flathead screwdriver, about medium size, or we could do it with I believe this is a T15 Torx. It's not an Allen key. Don't use an Allen key. This is a Torx. They come in sockets, or they come with just this little piece here, separate from the socket attachment. What this is going to do is this is going to allow you to remove those inner fenders, which will let you access the tabs that these guys are utilizing to connect to the rest of this front bumper. I'm lazy. I'm going to end up using the screwdriver method just because I've done it a few times. I'm pretty sure one of these has been pulled in and out enough to where the tabs really aren't doing a whole lot anymore, just for, building this guy here. But we are going to jump right into this and start taking these off. So I'm going to show you guys both methods, just so that way you guys can kind of get a feel for which one you may like better. So let's get into it. All right, so looking at this first housing here, we are going to remove this right now using the screwdriver method. This is what I've kind of done. It saves time, in my opinion. You're going to take the end of the screwdriver. You're not going to stab the plastic. You're going to poke right in between the two cracks and just gently twist and just pry that out just ever so slowly. And you're going to want to go around and do it on the whole thing. Perfect, and just like that, just with a little bit of work in that screwdriver in between here and kind of twisting and prying just a little bit, I was able to pop that out. Here you'll be able to see the tabs that I was talking about that we can access from the inner fender, and I'll show you that method right now. If not, you guys can skip through to the next step. All right, so coming in to our wheel well here, I'm on the driver's side currently, but it really doesn't matter which side you do this on if you're gonna do it for both. This is gonna be using the Torx. This is connected to a 3/8 ratchet, or a 3/8 drive ratchet with that T15 Torx. And what we're going to do is we're going to want to take out 1, 2, 3, 4, and then plus there's a fifth one back behind the wheel there that you can't see, but you're basically going to want to take out that L, and you're going to be able to pull this back. So I'll show you that right now. All right, so now we got both of them out. As you guys can see, we did the screwdriver here. We did the Torx right, not lazy way over there. And now what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to do just a little bit of cutting. Don't worry, it's not gonna affect the way this looks if you guys wanna put these back onto the truck. It's gonna be all behind, so you won't be able to see any of it, even if you don't like the product that we came out with. Anyway, I went out and bought a paint pen to show you guys basically where we're gonna need to cut. It's gonna be just light Dremel work behind. Like I said, it's not gonna damage anything if you don't like this. Well, I guess technically it's gonna damage the part that you're cutting. But we're just gonna use this white paint pen, and I'm gonna show you guys how far up to measure and where exactly to cut. All right, guys, so I got my tape measure here, and if you guys might be able to see the lines I've kind of faintly drawn there, I'm gonna come up about level with this mark here. You can see there's this hole here if you're looking at the whole thing. I'm gonna come up to this corner here, and we're gonna cut pretty even with that line. To give you guys an exact measurement, It's gonna be about 1.75 inches. I don't know how well you guys can see that we're gonna cut out of this. 1.75 inches down, which is basically gonna be from this line down right here. We're gonna wanna come about 2.5 inches. Sorry for the guys overseas, we're using inches here. 2 inches, 2.5 inches. Yeah, let's go with 2.5 inches towards the fender. So I will mark that out to kind of show you guys what the heck I'm talking about here. All right, so now that we got that drawn up, we're gonna go ahead and section that out right now. And you guys should get a nice flush fit like so. Cool. So now that we know this works, now what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to take a pencil or a small screwdriver and poke where all of our holes need to be drilled here. What we can go ahead and do is place this light in here, like so. You wanna get it as flush as possible with everything up here, where you can see it sits flat all around. I'm taking a little baby screwdriver. I would use a pick, but the pick, you could be off when you go to poke your hole and drill it. This gives me a little bit wider, I don't know, very technical term, poker to deal with here. And what we can do is we can just put it in there and twist. We're gonna do that for each hole. So I know those holes might be a little hard for you guys to see, so I'm gonna go ahead and kind of show you where roughly it looked like they were. And so it looks like our 4 holes are gonna go there. So now we can break out our drill, wherever I set my drill. You are gonna want to drill a 1/4 inch hole in these for those bolts to best slip through. I'm gonna take our drill here and just go roughly on those holes. Alrighty, so now that we have our holes drilled, we are ready to go there. It's a little wet, just had to run and go on a quick errand. Now we can install our actual light to our mount. So what that's gonna entail is on your lights, they're gonna come with this bezel here. You're gonna wanna remove all these screws and take just this black frame off. So we'll do that right now. And these screws are gonna come out with a 2.5 millimeter Allen key. Should come right out, shouldn't take very much force. You should hear them break loose. Alrighty, so now that we got all these screws loose, we can pop this off. Oh, so I thought I had all the screws loose here. We can pop this off like so. You want to keep this facing up. What you're going to want to do is get rid of the screws. I just threw them on the towel I had sitting here. You're going to want to lay that flat without the screws. Make sure you keep a finger on it or two so that way it can stay in, doesn't fall out. Now what we're going to do is we're going to insert the light from the back with the Squadron Sport Baja Designs logo facing up to our mount here. It's going to be a tight fit, so you are going to want to apply a little bit of force to get that set in there correctly. Kind of watch it from the back side too, make sure we are all lined up. Just going to slide that in. I'm probably putting 10 pounds at most force on it, just because it is a tight fit to keep this thing nice and secure. So another way you can also go about this is sometimes you might get hung up a little bit here. It's because this fit is just a super tight fit. There's that ring from our light. So another thing you could do is just put that ring in there and you could just work it in with your fingers here. Shouldn't take too much force. Alrighty, so once we have that ring pushed all the way in there, it did take a little more force than I was expecting. It's just such a tight fit that you're gonna have to press it in there pretty good. Now we're gonna take our light, make sure that bezel doesn't come out. I'm just gonna put that right up in there like so. So now you take your supplied hardware. There's gonna be these black little bolts here. I believe these are 2.5 millimeter Allen keys as well. And you're gonna replace them in these holes here. in the front of this mount. And what these will do is, these are a little longer, and so they will ultimately sandwich everything together. So with tightness on these, you're not going to want to cinch them because you might crack the plastic. So what you're going to do is you're going to want to go just where you can feel them seat, and then just a hair more. Just to where it's snug, it's not cinched down, it's just nice and snug and tight. Boom, right there. Just using a few fingers here, it doesn't take too much force. So yeah, just where they seat and a little more, that's it. If you hear cracking, stop. Okay, so now that we got the light inserted in here, it's pretty solid already, but we're gonna take our second piece here, and the way this goes in is this has more surface area on this side than it does this side. So if you look, you'll be able to move that cord into there, and this is gonna slide right in like so. This is gonna take a little bit of force just to press down as well. Once you get this pressed down, you are going to use the supplied hardware once again. Okay, so now using the supplied hardware, I believe this is a 1/4-20 screw and a 3/16 Allen key. You're going to want to thread this guy on in. And what this is going to do is it's going to help retain that back piece and the whole light assembly together. So it'll go, make sure there's a washer on there. I'm just going to thread those guys in. Same thing with these. You do not want to make these too tight. You just, once you feel them seat, right there it's set, you just want to go a little more. That's all it needs. It's not going to come loose on you. That's all it needs. Once it seats, just a little more. And that'll lock your whole light assembly in, and that thing's ready to be installed. Okay, so now that we got both of those put together, now we can come down here. I already took the screws out for this, as you guys saw earlier, so I can kind of pop this guy out. It is a little wet. I just had to go on a drive, run an errand. So now, when we pull this back, we have access to the inside of there. Hopefully you guys can see that with our hand. So the way these bolts are going to go in is from the front side. You're going to take your regular size. Pay attention to the size for a second. You'll learn why. You're going to put that in like so. It's going to be seated, and then on the back, you're going to run your washer and your nut. I believe that's a 3/8 socket. And that's how it's going to sit in there. So now your kit is going to be supplied with one long bolt. This is 1.25 inches. This one is meant to go through the tip of this just due to some of the plastic that is still in there. So we're going to take the long bolt, do the same thing, stick that all the way through. And then from the back side, we're going to throw on our washer and our nut and cinch those down from those holes that you just drilled, and you can access those with the ratchet from back here. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. So now the same thing with these, you're going to want to, like everything else, you're going to want to cinch them up, or I'm sorry, you're going to want to tighten them. But right after you feel them seat, you just want to go a little bit more. And if you hear cracking, you stop immediately. All right, just like that, that thing's solid in there. Alrighty, so as you guys can see, we got both of them mounted up. Hopefully the lighting's okay. I think they look really good. Alright guys, I appreciate you hanging around this far into the video. This is pretty much going to wrap it up here. I do want to take a second and explain how exactly all the wiring went into this project. What we did is we used the supplied wiring harness that Baja Designs gives us when we buy the lights brand new from them. It's pretty plug and play. I'm pretty sure you guys can figure it out, especially with their directions. What I ended up doing is I'll overlay some of the clips here. I went through the seal on the main engine harness, on the main wiring harness. I went through that seal with my switch wire into under where the passenger's feet are. So from where that seal is on the firewall of the truck, that spits you out right where the passenger's feet would be. So looking in from the passenger side, I'll overlay that clip. You guys can see that specific seal I'm talking about there. And then I ran my wire towards the driver under the carpet, make it look clean, don't make it look crappy. under the center console and then up to where my dash dimmer light is on my dashboard. And I ran that to my switch. I mounted the switch by drilling into the dashboard. I know if you don't want to do that, you could probably use some sort of sticky felt or something. But that's kind of how I went about wiring it. Super simple, just plug and play. But that's pretty much it for today, guys. I appreciate you guys watching this video and all of your input. I look forward to making more videos in the future, as well as showing you guys kind of start to finish on how we design the ones for the ZR2, which you guys will see here soon. So thank you very much. Like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Appreciate it.